92.9 WTUG, today's R&B hits and classics. I'm Jade Nicole, and right now I have the great pleasure of speaking with Mr. Thomas Burrell, who's the president of the Black Farmers and Agriculturalists Association. How are you, sir?
Jade, how are you this afternoon? Good evening to you and your listeners.
Thank you. Thank you. We know that there have been a number of stories in the news within the last decade or so concerning Black farmers and agriculturalists. But you guys have come across some more information concerning the U.S. Court of Appeals?
Yes. As a matter of fact, in 2015, this association filed another lawsuit against the Department of Agriculture for contracting with a person or a party in Portland, Oregon, and that person received taxpayer funds, but it discriminated against individuals on the basis of their race. It literally denied African-American males, from all things, from being a part of the Black Farmers lawsuit. We filed a lawsuit on behalf of those heirs who represent these individuals, stating that, among other things, they violated the Civil Rights Act of 1964. So in October of last year, the appeals court granted our motion, or at least the Department of Agriculture was trying to have our complaint dismissed. But the appeals court came back and said, no, there's too much smoke here. We believe there's fire, and this case should go forward to a jury. And they granted us our petition and stated that we have the right to have our members to establish their standing with this association. And what we're doing now is going around the country, to include the great state of Alabama and elsewhere, to let individuals know who may have been denied, Jade. There were, out of 53,000 individuals, 50,000 got denied. That's only 6%. It's something wrong with a process where you have only 6% of the people who prevail, particularly when the defendant has already acknowledged that it discriminated against those individuals.
Wow.
So yes, that's what we're going to be in Tuscaloosa at the on the University of Alabama's campus at the Bryant Conference Center on next Saturday, May the 12th, from 10 o'clock until 12 o'clock, to explain this current situation, and B, there are so many other opportunities that the African-American community is missing out on. This new administration, whether you voted for it or not, is getting ready to spend trillions of dollars, hundreds of billions of dollars in rural infrastructure, rural economy, rural prosperity, broadband initiative. We want to make sure that the African-American community will receive some of those contracts and receive some of the proliferation of benefits that would otherwise go to other individuals' shade.
Okay, that sounds great. So what would someone have to have in order to be a part of what you're doing?
Well, first and foremost, the class action lawsuit against the Department of Agriculture on behalf of Black farmers and their heirs. These individuals have to make what is called a meritorious claim of discrimination. That sounds difficult, but it's really easy. When Congress certified these lawsuits and it passed legislation 20 years ago, in October of 1998, they made it possible for an heir to file on behalf of individuals. The problem was that people didn't know about the process. So one of the things that we're making available is for individuals to call our office at 901-522-8880 if they believe that they have a claim. One of the things that Congress did then, to make it easy, they assumed Congress recognized that the majority of the Black farmers, particularly a lot of them, were already deceased. So they did something like tolling the statute of limitation. They made it easier for people to apply. They relaxed the hearsay rule. But it doesn't matter how simple a process is if people don't know about the process. So that's another reason we appreciate you and your radio station, Jade, 92.9, for allowing us to be able to help get the word out. We're holding meetings today in 2018. These lawsuits have been around now for 20 years. And there are individuals still coming out and said, we just heard about it. Well, we heard about it some years ago, but no one explained it to us.
Wow.
We didn't know that we, as an heir, could have filed. It was called the Black Farmers lawsuit. Not that we have to apologize for that, but that was somewhat of a misnomer. It was really not a Black Farmers lawsuit. It was a discrimination lawsuit. So a lot of people thought, well, because I'm not farming or my granddaddy is dead, my grandmother is dead or deceased, we don't have a claim. And here again, that was not the case. The other problem was people were saying the lawsuit was over. And here again, we argued that the Constitution, our rights are embodied, Jade, in the Constitution, not in a lawsuit. So even if a lawsuit is over, our constitutional rights are not over. And when individuals continue to violate our constitutional rights, we need an association like the Black Farmers and Agriculturalists Association to continue to fight for our rights. Having a constitutional right is one thing, but you almost have to have correspondingly the wherewithal to enforce your rights.
Okay. So once again, you're having this conversation at the University of Alabama next Saturday, May 12th.
Yes, at 10 o'clock, from 10 until 12. And we're telling people, even if you may not have a claim in the Black Farmers lawsuit, we're going to be talking about other opportunities. Alabama, thousands of black folks still own land in the great state of Alabama. And these broadband initiatives, in other words, they're going to be building communication towers to provide for broadband. We want to make sure that African-American landowners receive some of these contracts as well. As I said, whether we voted for the president, whether we agree with this administration, that's one thing. But economic development is something we can't afford not to take advantage of. We are, in other words, we're in basically the rural South, the rural Black Belt, where poverty is rampant, where infant mortality is high, inadequate housing, high unemployment. We can't afford now to leave contracts and economic development opportunity on the table simply because we may not agree with who's the president at this point in time. We, as Dr. Booker T. Washington once said, we cannot allow our grievances, Jade, to overshadow our opportunities. So we want to make sure that the African-American community takes advantage of these opportunities, grievances notwithstanding.
Absolutely. Well, I want to thank you so much for joining me today via phone. I mean, you did not have to take this time out of your schedule to call us and let us know what's going on. I greatly, greatly appreciate it. And we are looking forward to having a great turnout.
Thank you, Jade, so very much.
You are so very welcome. Have a great day.
Yes, ma'am. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.